Technology has made buying tax liens online a much simpler process than 25 years ago. Most government agencies selling tax liens have significant resources online to help research. Many investors do all their property research online from anywhere in the world where there's an internet connection. In the next video, Carrie Goff demonstrates buying tax liens at an actual online auction. As with all investments, it's important to understand investing in tax liens before investing your hard-earned money. You'll find more information at my website, tedthomas.com.
So what we are going to do today is we are going to go through the Brevard County, Florida online tax lien certificate purchasing process. We are going to start at the Brevard County tax collection site, brevardtaxsale.com, and we're going to click here where it says start here, and we're going to just review the rules real quick. First thing I'd like to know is how do I pay for my deposit and liens purchase? So I'm going to click on that. And all this information here tells us that we're going to have to do a fund transfer at time of registration and put down a deposit before we can bid on any of the items. I'm also going to check here on bidding rules, and this will tell us everything we need to know about the auction rules, and it's definitely important to make sure we know all these rules before we begin. So I'm going to go back to home, and we're going to begin by registering. We are going to register as an EIN, and we're just going to fill in this information. And now we're going to fill in our contact information. We are buying this within a corporation, and therefore everything will be done with our primary name on the winning certificate as our company name. This could be anything from an incorporation to an LLC. And now we're going to enter in our mailing address where our certificates will be sent to. Next, now we get to set up our username and our password, and we're also going to select a security question so that way nobody can hack into our account. Okay, now our registration is complete. You can see that we have our bidder number, our username, and our password, which is blurred out, but it is there. And then last but not least, the user agreement. And there is also a notice to bidders that you have to agree or not agree with, and it's important to read through all this. Okay, so this brings us to our summary screen, and what this is this is going to show you all of your awarded certificates and your bids. Now what we're going to do to get started is we're going to come over here to this sidebar where it says make deposit. And this deposit is going to allow us to actually make bids. And we have to fill in our banking information at this point, your routing number, your checking number, which can all be found on your personal checks or your company checks. And then you get to enter your deposit amount, which is 10% of the face value or $100, whichever is greater. And then this is your authorization, your agreement for the electronic payment, which we will authorize. And then you return to your account homepage. Now this shows that we have made a deposit of $240, and we can still win up to $2,400 in the tax lien certificates. Okay, so once we are ready to start looking for properties, we can enter in multiple search criteria. We can do the face amount, we can do acreage search, we can search on assessed value, owner name, property address, that sort of thing. What we're going to do, I've already found a few that we're going to look at, is we're going to search by parcel ID. And it brings right up to this one that I've already done some research on. We're not going to get into the real property research in this segment, but just know that some does need to be done. This one here, this is, you can see the site address. You can see that the owner lives in California. So that could be a good or bad. That could mean that it's less likely to actually redeem. This one you can see that the market value for this year has dropped in the previous years, as it has in many places. This one is currently listed at $94,920. And you can see that there is no homestead exemption. In Florida, that's something you have to look for. And there's all kinds of other information that you can get right here. You can see that it has a patio with a screen enclosure. And we can also click on this button here that says tax information, and that will bring us to another site that now tells us the legal description, what the taxes for the previous years have been. From here, we can also go back here. We can copy and paste this site address, and we can bring that over to Zillow.com and paste that address in here. And this will give us the comparables for the area. You can see that this is one of the lower properties at $92,000. The house across the street's $130,000, $105,000 down the street, $156,000. We can click on this and it will give us a Zestimate at approximately $101,000. It tells us it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square foot home built in 1985 with a attached garage. There's all kinds of information. You can see market trending and whatnot. This is all very good research tools. We are going to go back to the property appraiser site. So this is the actual plat map, and we can change this over to an aerial view. And we can see that this property right here, at the time of this image, was in decent condition. You can see that it is in a subdivision. We're going to zoom out a little bit. And you can see that this subdivision actually has canal access, and it looks like there may be a few marina slips over here. So the land value, even if the house is unlivable, the land value is going to be worth more than what this tax lien is going to cost us. So even if we had to tear down the house, you're still going to make out just fine. So now that we've come back to the tax site, we can enter our bid amount for this property. And for this property, we've already made our calculations and whatnot. And this one, we are going to bid 13%. So we enter the 13% in right here, and we click on bid. So now it came back, our bid 13%. So now we can go home, and it shows up here that we have our bids are in, the face value of that bid, our average interest rate that we've bid on it. So we can go back to quick search and we can search on a few more. Now I've also got another property that I've done some research on. We'll submit that. And as you can see, this screen has actually redeemed. This property is no longer available from the time 15 minutes ago when I did the research. So that's something to be aware of, that these can redeem at any time. So this is another one that we've researched. This is actually vacant land. You can tell because the face amount of this lien is much less than that of a house. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. And we can see that this actually has a site address. So this is part of a subdivision that has been planned or partially developed. We can find that out by scrolling down, going to the tax information. We can see that there is no homestead exemption on this. And again, we see that there is an actual property address here from the tax collector's office. So here we can also bring up the plat map, and we can see that this is a corner lot. We'll change this to aerial view and confirm that there are in fact roads here, which there are. You can see there are houses across the street from the lot and roads, and it looks as if there's also a driveway planned for that lot. We're going to go back to the property, and we are going to go ahead, and we've done our research. This vacant lot, we are going to bid a maximum bid of 16%. And we're going to click bid. Okay, now this can bring us back to our home page. It now shows that we have 2 bids. Our average interest rate of those 2 bids is 14.5%. So that's it for investing online in Brevard County, Florida's tax lien certificate auction. Now all counties are going to be slightly different, but it's the same gist. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue bidding on some more properties that I've done some research on, because There are many people that will be bidding at this auction, and it is possible that we could be underbid on some of them. So to ensure that we are able to invest our full $2,400 in this auction, we're going to go ahead and bid on multiple properties.